What are the challenges? I mean, it's all very well setting up a mine, digging stuff out of the ground, as I said, but logistically getting it on a train, getting it to a port and getting it out. Is that hampering the economy of Southern Africa?
Absolutely. That's the big challenge in the region, and particularly in Mozambique, South Africa and the neighboring countries, because we all know there are vast mineral resources in these countries, and particularly coal in Mozambique now is one of the big mineral resources being very much talked about. But the question is, how do you transport all these resources from inland to a suitable port, and from there on to the clients, namely in the Asian and Pacific Rim?
Indeed. What is your role at BNI in this whole process? I'll come to the major companies and the sovereigns that are involved as well, but tell us about your role as a banker.
Well, BNI is a new bank. We just started late last year. It's a partnership between Group Caixa Geral de Depósitos, which is Portuguese's biggest bank, which has had a regional presence, particularly in the Portuguese-speaking countries, for many decades, and a leading position here in Mozambique and certainly also in Angola. And it's a partnership between Caixa and discoveries of
Stephan, Sorry, Stephan, I lost you there, but I got the gist of what you were saying. I'm just looking at a couple of the headlines regarding coal infrastructure in Mozambique, and a lot of them remind me of something that I heard about 20 years ago when the Chinese, who wanted to secure supplies of Brazilian soybeans, they went to the Brazilian government and didn't just say, right, we want to contract to buy X amount of soybeans per year. We also want to help you build a port in order to export them to us. Is that the type of thing you're seeing? Because I can see this headline here. It says Mozambican government negotiates loan with China to build deep water port. Is that the kind of relationship that is being entered into at the moment?
Yes, and not only with China, but certainly with the other investors such as Vale and Rio Tinto, whereby they are exploring big concession mines, and we're talking about an estimated 23 billion tons of thermal and coking coal reserves in Mozambique. And certainly you're going to need several rail lines and deep seawater ports in order to move this cargo out of the country and generate the economic benefits that everybody expects.
Some cynics might say, of course, this is corporate and sovereign colonialism, akin to what happened in Africa 100 years ago. What would you say to them? I mean, it's a partnership this time rather than a colonization.
Well, absolutely. I think this is absolutely normal business that happens everywhere in the world. There are resources, they have to be mined, and you need investment for that. Therefore, you need foreign investment. This happens all over the world. It's nothing to do with colonialism or location in Africa. And you need investment. You need the business to be good for everybody, particularly also for the communities involved. Otherwise, certainly there might be problems in the future.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, both parties, for example, a corporate who wants to exploit the resources of a country and the country itself, and you as BNI, you both have a vested interest in the negotiations going well and the deal going well. Have you found it easy to deal with countries like China and companies like Vale or Rio Tinto?
It's never easy to deal with big countries or big companies, or at least even to small countries or smaller companies. But it's all business, and we deeply believe that you have to follow a process. You need to have the right advisors. You need to have the right people in place to take decisions, and governments, I believe, are becoming very aware that foreign investors, they will invest in their country if the conditions are right, and if the conditions are not right, they will invest somewhere else. So everybody needs to be very professional and get things done and get the decisions out of the table so that everybody can get the results.
Let's just wrap this up, if we can, Stephan, with a more sort of a broader question. How much has infrastructure held back the development of African countries that are mineral rich? And are we getting to a point where that last statement will not be true in the future?
Well, we certainly hope that won't be true in the future. I believe international investors are looking at Africa more and more seriously and deploying huge amounts of capital into Africa. And as long as they have trustable governments and partners and reliable partners with whom to deal, this question of infrastructure will be solved. Obviously, these are massive projects. It's a lot of money, and it will take a lot of time. But we believe the time is now to invest in Africa and to have proper professional discussions, regardless of what happened in the past.
Stephan, very good luck with your new bank. That's Stephan Morais, the Deputy CEO of Banco Nacional de Investimento.